Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Good afternoon, Jeffrey Combs. This is Facebook Live 2.0. My humble apologies for the interruptions. I've been having major internet challenges at my home office here today, so doing my best to be my best in a relaxed body. So if you come back on here this afternoon, it is my privilege and pleasure to be here with you on a breathe, release, and let go afternoon. Just going to get dialed in here. This is Jeffrey Combs, president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. So this is what the power of focus is. So Jared, good to see you. Thank you for coming back here. As I've experienced some internet challenges in my neighborhood this afternoon, Comcast is my carrier, and we will be addressing this. And this is what adapting and adjusting means. And the Facebook Live today is on the power of focus. And the power of focus is to be able to direct your energy in areas that will bring you the greatest return on your energy and your time. So if you're joining me here this afternoon, thank you very much. We were bumped off at 1 o'clock, so 10 minutes later we're back in the game. The topic for today's call is the law of focus. And focus is a skill that many people do not develop. It is a developed skill that it requires your ability to concentrate, to have a vision, to have clarity, and to be able to direct your energy into areas that you can create a result, create an outcome. So when you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings, and you're separating yourself from anxiety, fear, and doubt, then you are in a higher level of consciousness. Now, focus is a very underdeveloped topic, and this is one of the few books I have on the book Focus. This is The Power of Focus by Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield and Les Hewitt, and it was written back in the 2000s. It's one of the few books with the title of Focus of it. Now, Charles Duhigg wrote a book about 15 years ago called The Psychology of Habit. Habits are habitual. Focus is also an energy that the two can come together. Habitually, do you bring energy to the table where you are focused? Or do you have clearly defined goals? Do you have a 90-day game plan? Do you have a daily method that you operate in? If you do, that will assist you to bring together and magnetize your reality, the outcome you seek to create. And if you are a direct sales professional, a network marketer, an insurance agent, a real estate agent, it's going to require focus to succeed in your businesses or any businesses, because it's important that you live in the solution and that you get paid for results and you create results in a relaxed body. Focus is a very, very underdeveloped skill. Most of the planet lives in procrastination and avoidance. So if you are in Josh Waxman's team, he is very skilled at teaching focus. He has an office, a system, a routine, a discipline where he can bring a group of entrepreneurs together, and it's one or more of like mind coming together for a common cause, a mastermind alliance that comes together, and he's able to teach focus to his team. And if you have your own team, it's the same situation, that you have clearly defined goals. You have a target that you have a vision to be able to create. And if you have clearly defined focus, you also have goals, and your goals are part of that focus, and your goals must be realistic. But if you have pie in the sky goals, I said this to a woman today, when you set a goal, you don't set the goal because you want it, you set the goal so that you can achieve it. And what many people do is they want this goal, they want this rank advance, they want this outcome, but they aren't clear on what is required to create the outcome. So I used to call it the guts of the goal. It's the inner operation of the goals. And the goals, the accomplishments and results require focus. But if it's hocus pocus, you're out of focus, or the wind blows and you're not focused, or you don't have a system or a routine or a method, then any old wind will blow you off course. So in your focus, you require clarity. You require vision of the outcome you seek to create in a relaxed body. And if you're not focused, you'll get blown off course very easily. So if you're prospecting a prospect and you're worried about the outcome, then you can't be focused. If you are in an overwhelmed state of consciousness It's not possible to be focused. Focus comes from higher consciousness. Focus comes from understanding, knowing, being aware, being certain, being in belief, being in trust, and being in truth. Focus does not come from anxiety, fear, and doubt. It is impossible to be focused when you're in denial. It's impossible to be focused when you're addicted to a set of feelings. You can't accomplish it. So you can have minimal focus and you'll create minimal results. Focus requires discipline. Discipline is your ability to monitor your emotions, and it means you're learning to re-educate your expectations. So when you have a clearly defined goal, a method to achieve it, and a system or a track to be able to lay down the guidelines, then you have a higher probability of goal achievement. And focus is a major component of it. So you require a short-term focus of the task at hand right here, and a longer-term focus of a vision of the outcome you seek to create in the future. But you want to have a 1 day, a 7 day, a 28 day, or 30 day clearly defined focus about the outcome you seek to create, and you commit to it. Focus is your ability to lock in. You're able to see it. Focus is your ability to eliminate distractions. And with everything that went on in the last 2 weeks, the situation that happened in the subway, Charlie Kirk last week, there's going to be something every single week, more than likely for the rest of the year. That's just what we're all going to be up against. There's trauma-based mind control, there's problem, reaction, solution, and there's predicted programming. You have to understand that this is all going to be happening. It's not going to get any better. It's going to continue to escalate. And that's going to be your responsibility not to get distracted over there by a syndrome called problem, reaction, solution. There's a major problem that happens. There's a public reaction to it. And while everyone's looking over here, situations over here are moved around. Problem, reaction, solution. And while all that's happening, that requires you to be focused. For me, the last 2 days were 2 of the best days of the year for me. That was Sunday and Monday of the calendar year 2025. Even though everything that's going on the last 2 weeks, I understand it, I follow it. I'm a truther, a conspiracist, a patriot. I've been on the rabbit hole for over 40 years. I grasp the magnitude of what is happening. However, my focus is not on what's going on in the outer world. My focus is what's going on in my office. My focus is what's going on for my customers, my clients. My focus is what's going on for commerce, traffic, sales, branding, and marketing, and then how I can empower other people. Now, as I said, I have hundreds of books on the topic. I've been studying it for years, and I'm not a novice, and it's not a hobby for me. It's serious, but my focus is on results. My focus is on the solution. My focus is on better health. My focus is on detoxing, cleansing, heavy metal, letting go of brain fog, being my best self, and being in an optimum performance, in an optimum body where I can be my best coach for my clients. Because if I'm my best coach for my clients, they're going to rehire me. They're going to refer me business. A woman today, I simply made a couple comments on a couple of her posts, and she referred me to clients. This is a woman I coached 10 years ago. Josh just broke down the book Exploring the Zone by Larry Miller. It's a book that I introduced Josh to around 10 years ago. And so in clear focus, there's a term called optimum performance. Now, what most people lack when it comes to focus is they live in performance anxiety. And in performance anxiety, your focus is on avoiding results. That's what procrastination is. People who are very skilled and access the zone, which is also the quantum field, which is where I am. Here's just a few numbers. Sunday, I was calling my old coaching clients from 2023 to 2018. Sunday, I left 31 messages. I spoke to 2 people who didn't buy, and 1 person called me back and hired me. Now, this was 2 hours of prospecting. Now, if I would have done that for 8 hours, look what the results would be. This is the law of numbers. This is what it was required to understand. These weren't exactly cold call leads, but these are people that I had coached going back to 2000, to 2012. And so I was going through the list, compiling, just like I did 15, 20, 30 years ago, because when you learn to sell, it requires focus. And it's a relaxed discipline. It's clarity about the outcome. It's letting people go easily and effortlessly in a very relaxed body, and being able to focus on the solution, being able to focus on the outcome that I'm seeking to create. And when you possess this focus, it's a quality. It's a quality of consciousness, focus. So focus is a very high calibration of emotional energy. In the book, The Map of Consciousness Explained, focus would calibrate out in the 250 to 350 cycles a second. But the focus is a relaxed focus. It's not an intense focus. It's not a pressure focus. It's not a I'm going to get it done. I mean, it's a very relaxed focus of love, joy, bliss, energetic vibration, that people can feel your energy, and the energy that you're transmuting is charisma, it's love, it's joy, it's bliss, it's connectability, and it's also in a non-attached state. So in a non-attached focus, you're not responsible for other people's feelings. And you're also able to let go of your own feelings easily and effortlessly, because you understand the inner game of what you're accomplishing. So when you're focused, you don't get deterred as easily as most of society. You also don't get distracted by outer noise. Now, as a person who's been down the rabbit hole for over 40 years, and so I used to know Dr. Joey Paleo, who wrote the book, The Healing Codes of the Biological Apocalypse. I've known David Icke personally. So, I mean, I started down that rabbit hole over 40 years ago. So I have all these other sideline projects that I'm fascinated by. I have a $2 million sports card collection. I've had as many as 11 cars. I've had multiple real estate projects at one time. I'm a rehabber of antique homes. I'm very skilled at construction, real estate. I mean, I can do much of it myself. I am constantly fine-tuning my home. If you want to look up my home, it's 989 Oxford Way. Zip code is 95204, Stockton, California. It's a house that I've been rehabbing for 25 years, and it is an absolute state of the art. Josh Waxman has been in it, and so yes, Christine, I've known David Icke since 1997. As a matter of fact, David Icke met a woman at a conference where I was the #1 income earner at that conference. He met a woman at that event, and she became his wife. I used to do three-way calls for her. This was way back in the day, and this was in 1997. Icke only had 2 books at the time. One was I Am Me and I Am Free, and the other one was And the Truth Shall Set You Free. Now, his groundbreaking book is called Children of the Matrix. Josh also has that book. Amazing book. If you don't have it, you should definitely own it. Way ahead of its time. So I have multiple interests. I have multiple interests. Like if I retired from owning a business, I have so many things that I want to do in life, that I do in life, that I would never be bored. I'm focused when I walk around the block. I walk 4 blocks a day, along with 22 minutes of exercise, and I do 100 push-ups every single day. That requires a focused discipline at dedicated blocks of time. So I'm a multitasker, and I'm a very skilled multi-accomplisher and multitask focuser. And you can do this, but to be able to do this, you have to be able to clear the noise. Jeff Avia is on today's line. I'm Jeff Avia's client, actually. So Josh, you want to meet Jeff. Jeff is a top-tier card collector, and Jeff drove down from the edge of Sacramento one day to hold two Mickey Mantle rookie cards in his hand. And Jeff will be he's already in my will as a person who's going to assist me to liquidate my collection at some point. So Jeff is a very focused man and has assisted me. I collect sports cards. I mean, I have multiple interests in life, but with all these interests in life, I dine out every Friday and Saturday night. I love fashion. I love Western fashion. I love French cuisine, I love Italian cuisine, I love barbecue. I have a love and a zest for life, and I'm absolutely focused on it, but I'm also, and I don't ever use the term laser focus. I teach my clients relaxed focus. Relaxed focus in a relaxed body, being able to read every situation for what it is, breathing, releasing, and letting go, not being attached to the outcome, being in high consciousness, transmuting love, joy, bliss, bringing people together of like consciousness so we can collaborate. Jared Andra and Josh Waxler on this Facebook Live, because I'm the 6 degrees of separation, and I could break that down for even Josh's wife. Jonathan Mason was my client. Josh met Jonathan, and then he met his wife in that same culture. So when you're focused, people are going to come to you. People are going to come to you because you're exuding love. You're exuding bliss. You're exuding joy, and you become an ambassador of change. And so this is when you start to really let go of control. So there's a difference between trying to control an outcome and being focused on an outcome. And this is one of the biggest breakthroughs for me, because early in my career, I was trying to control my team. I was trying to control the outcome. I was trying to control the business. And I was so in control that I ended up out of control. And over an 8-year period, I ended up $100,000 in credit card debt, not because I wasn't focused, but I was over-focused. I was hyper-focused, and what I was trying to do is I was trying to make up for lost time. As a drug addict, alcoholic who spent a year in prison and then spent another year drinking myself to death, hitting rock bottom, ending up in an alcohol heroin clinic in Ceres, California with a slit down my wrist right there so you can see it. Scars are souvenirs. Scars are souvenirs you never lose. The past is never far. So every time I require a dose of humility, I can look right there and remember where I came from. So focus is a skill set. And when you begin, focus isn't something you possess. Focus is who you are. I am focused. You can't buy focus. You can't grasp focus. Focus is a skill set. And this will take you away from your focus. If you're an addicted people pleaser, if you're an addicted codependent, or if you have control issues, which that would be all of us, it can hinder your focus. But especially if you have codependent issues. And so if you have an independent focus and you seek independent producers and collaborators who are also focused, then when that becomes your mastermind alliance. You're seeking to attract your reality, people of like consciousness. And for me, early in my career, I was trying to make up for lost time. I was grinding my teeth, and I created a syndrome called TMJ, tension mandibular joint, right there, C1 and 2. That's also called the atlas and the occiput, or it's also cervical 1 and cervical 2. There's 7 vertebrae in the neck, 12 in the thoracic, and 7 in the lumbar. And so in my first 8 years of free enterprise business, after 14 years of drug and alcohol addiction, my neck would go out of place, my back would go out of place, my lumbar would go out of place on any given day because of the pressure I was putting on myself. And my focus was a hyper focus. It wasn't relaxed. And so the people I would bring into my team, they would be intimidated by me because I was intimidating. And I was putting pressure on them because my goals were more important than theirs. And so as I was putting pressure on them, they could feel it, they would quit. And then I would be angry because I'd poured my heart into them. That was the ego, the lower self. And so that also was a byproduct of my childhood experiences that were unresolved. When you have to become a grown-up as a child and you lose your innocence, when you're a caretaker for parents, or you're a caretaker for other children, or you're the black sheep of the family and you don't fit in, but you're the superstar kid of the family, but you get no recognition for what you do, well, that sets you up to be that black sheep and to over-obligate yourself to people, to do too much for people, to be codependent, over-obligate, enable, do too much, and then have expectations for a team or a culture or a wife or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a husband or friends or whoever. You're not only you might be the life of the party, but when you're the glue of the party, then you're creating a dependency. And it keeps you from being able to attract the people that you deserve to have in your team. And this is what I went through for 8 years. In 8 years, I didn't have one single person achieve 6 figures in the 3 different businesses I built that I was a number 1 income earner. And I myself never made over $20,000 in a month. And I'll even qualify that. The $20,000 that I achieved a few times back in the day would get consumed by the overhead and the debt of the long distance phone bills back in the day. And so I had a non-profit business from the discomfort of my apartment. I didn't own a home, I didn't have property, I had a beat up car, but one thing I did have is I had gratitude. And I was practicing forgiveness, I was clean and sober, I was practicing the 12 steps, I was going to meetings, I didn't date, I didn't party, I didn't drink. I went to Barnes & Noble every Friday and Saturday night, and I bought at least 10 books a week, every single week. So factor how many books I had after 8 years. That's correct, in the hundreds. And in those hundreds, there's hundreds of conspiracy books and other unique books. I have every Louis L'Amour's book in paperback. I read all of Ludlum's books. Now, this is unique. If you read Ludlum's book, The Born Supremacy, The Born Identity, and The Born Ultimatum, Ludlum wrote those and around at 79, 80, and 81. That means Ludlum was on the inside of what is called Ultra MK42 Monarch. Now, if you know what that means, you definitely are downloading the content. And if you know what that means, and you know what's going on in the world, it's going to require a lot of just relaxed focus to be able to address what's about to happen. What's about to happen, it's escalating. And the more you understand problem, reaction, solution, what's happening in the world today, Christine Tuk pointed out, she said, wow, David Icke. Icke is famous for problem, reaction, solution, and it's going to require your focus not to get distracted what goes on over there, in the subway, or at this campaign rally, or what goes on in this college campus over here, or what civil liberties taken from you over here, or what's going on over here. It's your responsibility is to be right there. That's God. Right there is your pineal gland. You connect that right there to God. That's your ocular gland. And you let go of right here, your hippocampus. That is where the brain fog begins. That is your short, long-term memory. Your amygdala right here will shrink. If you're in any level of trauma, your body's holding on to trauma, and your prefrontal cortex is right here, and that'll be your ability to discern and decide. So if you're living in brain fog, you cannot focus. If you're holding on to a traumatic relationship and you can't let go of it, then you'll continue to stay stuck in the same situation over and over. Jared, I know you're definitely understanding this. So you're one of my best students of all time. I keep championing your cause because I know that you're not only going to succeed, but you're going to transcend. And so you have two of the best mentors you could possibly attracted, and that's on you. You attracted them. It's not luck. There's no such thing as luck in this world. I'd much rather be good or exceptional than lucky. Luck doesn't win championships. Championships are won by teamwork, coming together for a common cause, one or more of like mind coming together in a mastermind alliance. And for those of you, once again, I want to really hand this to you. So those of you who are on today's Facebook Live, you're focused. It took me 12 minutes to get back online, and I got back online with this right here. I got back online with a jetpack because my internet failed, but I also have a backup jetpack. It took me 12 minutes to get it booted up. I jumped back on, got right back in, and the show must go on. So that's what adapting and adjusting is. My assistant Emily is immediately on the phone with Comcast. We're attempting to get someone out here and get course corrected so that the show must go on. And even if this didn't happen, I would have found some other way to do whatever I do. So when you are focused, winners find a way. It's just how it happens. A person who's focused always has a gravitational pull, the undertow, to come to the other side. But if you're unfocused, the lower self-ego will find ways to be disappointed. The lower self-ego will find ways to get overwhelmed. When you're and so if you're in lean poverty, there's a solution. You can definitely find it. My name is Jeffery Combs, president and founder of Golden. My name is so I'm getting bounced off again, but Jeffery Combs, president and founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. You have an outstanding afternoon.